Hi everyone, welcome. Carlos Solisade, hoş geldiniz. First of all, we'd like to thank Friedrich Ebert Foundation for supporting this event. So I'm going to give a quick read through the agenda, and then we will get on to the short film. So first of all, I'd just like to clarify that UniteCyprusNow is a multi-communal grassroots organization in favor of anyone that wants a united Cyprus. So first of all, we have our short film directed by Evren Maner. So the UniteCyprusNow movie is a short movie that features UCN activist Sori. There were no professional actors involved. We'll then have our keynote speeches, an update on UniteCyprusNow, an introduction to our subcommittees, a Q&A, your ideas, and then closing remarks. So thank you everyone. We'll be starting with our short movie. Grassroots non-partisan initiative.
Κάποιοι από εμάς μιλούν ελληνικά.
Bazılarımız Türkçe konuşuyor.
Mezme voman hayren bixosin.
We are multilingual, we are all Cypriots.
Προερχόμαστε από διαφορετικά κοινωνικά στρώματα, διαφορετικές ηλικίες, διαφορετικά επίπεδα μόρφωσης.
Vizyonumuz tüm Kıbrıslılar için birleşik bir Kıbrıs.
Θέλουμε μια συμφωνημένη λύση για την πατρίδα μας.
Kıbrıs bizim yurdumuz.
Ortak geleceğimiz için Kıbrıs'ta barışı inşa etmek istiyoruz.
Πιστεύουμε ότι η ομοσπονδία είναι ο μόνος δυνατός και εφικτός τρόπος για να το πετύχουμε.
Media a better future.
Ενθαρρύνουμε τη συνεργασία και τη συνύπαρξη.
Bu yüzden biz de ortak Kıbrıs'ı kimliğimizi vurgulayan adımları destekliyoruz.
Farklılıkları kabul etmek ve bunlara sahip çıkmak.
Θέλουμε να μπει ένα τέλος στην μονόπλευρη εθνικιστική ρητορική που συμβάλλει στην διχοτόμηση και καλλιεργεί το μίσος και τη δυσπιστία.
Kıbrıs'ı birleştirmek istiyor.
Θέλουμε να ενώσουμε την Κύπρο τώρα.
Χήμα.
Şimdi.
Τώρα.
Now.
I'd now like to call the director of the film, Evren Maner, and screenwriter Marina Christofidi to the microphone.
The idea for this movie started off as an About Us video that we were going to put on our website, but somehow it has become much more than that. I must say I was quite surprised at the reaction the video has had since we put it online, because in my mind, the fact that we are all Cypriots just goes without saying. But I realized that it needed to be said, as it expresses the feelings of many of us. In the end, the Cypriot identity resonates in our society much more than we think. We may speak different languages and have different ethnic backgrounds, but we care for the same things, and our allegiance is to Cyprus, because ultimately we are all Cypriots first, and we want to unite this island. If we want to unite this island, we must think of ourselves as such. In essence, this little movie perfectly kicks off our meeting and our campaign, because it's what we are all about. Fighting the division, not just on the ground, but more importantly, in our heads.
Good evening, thank you for coming this time. I hope you all share the video on the social media. I just want to say one simple experience we face on Facebook and social media. Somebody from England, I check his profile and he has a very nice picture of playing touch also in his profile. He said, you get a lot of money for this movie and you use professional actors. This is what people think when they see Kemal Baykal. And I was trying to, everybody was trying to explain him that nobody got money. It is not something like we have to give a report and budget, otherwise we will publish the movie in 2025. It was a union project without reports including. But one day I remember, we just filmed it and everybody, Mr. Gosta and Kemal were checking our pockets because we wanted to eat something, and everybody, we all paid from our pockets, and this is what is the most beautiful thing, because yes, we care about our country and we don't need any fundings, but we can walk also. This is one of the examples. And when we believe, yes, we look like a professional actors, but the one thing is missing there. We are not acting, we are living experience. We are the people who are traveling from Nicosia to Nicosia with the passports. Please do not tell this story of passport traveling within the city, in Canada, in a bar, in Germany, otherwise they will kick you out, because I tried it in Germany, in an Irish bar, and I told them, we travel from Nicosia to Nicosia with the passport. So I hope this nonsense, madness, and this Cold War, I cannot find a word to call this country, but this is the only example, I believe. We end this Cold War scenario soon, and we continue with the bright future. And thank you for coming.
I would like to call Bora to the microphone to give us an update on UCN and finances.
Yes, maybe keynote speeches.
I'm calling Kemal Nandromaki to give us some speeches.
Okay, basically, we are just going to keep it 2 minutes each. Hopefully we manage to do that. I'm not as bright as Andromache. I have to write it down to remember. I'm sure she will be doing it by heart. But you see, in the early days of birth of UniteCyprusNow, there was an elder Turkish Cypriot lady coming with her banner, sitting there by herself, silently holding the banner that consisted of 6 words. History will be a brutal judge. Kıymet Hanım had no idea that the banner will inspire my little keynote speech that I'm delivering now. To me, as I later discovered incidentally, the most striking part of her message was how it slapped us in the face to remind us that history is not only a matter of past, but it is also a clean page for the future. Today our homeland is divided, our people are divided, and our past is troubled. Using our communal and linguistic differences, they are trying to justify why we should stay divided permanently. We refuse that. For us, being a Cypriot is not just a geographical indication. It means we belong to this country regardless of our communal, linguistic, or ethnic background. For us, Cyprus is not only a piece of so-called strategic territory in a region, it is our homeland. It is our heritage, it is our past, present and future. And it is where we want to raise our children. I looked at Andromache because she always teases me for saying things about our children. I don't have it. We believe that a political settlement is possible and within reach. Peace, however, is more than a solution. Solution is possible, but peace is not unless we talk to each other, hear each other's fears, concerns, and hopes, apologize from each other, and agree to move forward. Peace will come only when we decide to build it. It will come when we stop letting them destroy our hopes, leave us disappointed and heartbroken, ending each chapter of negotiation process with another round of blame game. Peace will come when we stop allowing them insulting our intelligence and poisoning our minds. And peace will come only when we really decide to build a common future together, as it should be on this small island. True, history will be a brutal judge, but only if we let them hold the pen.
Hello everyone. First of all, thank you for all being here. It's a bit humbling to see every one of you here, because being you here, it means that you understand what we are saying, that division has been going on for a very long time, and that it is about time people do something about it. You know, UCN started, and we don't want to speak a lot about UCN because the whole point of this event is to hear you and to hear opinions and to hear how you believe we should move forward as citizens who are conscious of the road that we are heading to. UCN started in May 2017 with the purpose of basically pushing a political process. 1.5 years later, with many political disappointments, we have come to the conclusion that we should forget about politicians, we should forget about them, or at least we should put them aside for a while and see what we can do as people and as citizens of this country to work for a solution. We have been waiting for the politicians to bring us a solution for so long, and in the process we have forgotten that the solution lies within us and lies at the moment we decide to work for peace on this island. And this is why we are happy to be launching this series of events. We have our first meeting here today in Nicosia, but we will have another one next week in Limassol, and on the 22nd in Famagusta. And this forms part of a greater idea that we want to reach each city, we want to reach each village, and we really believe that if the politicians felt that the people were awake, and if the politicians felt that the people were looking for peace and were wanting to work for peace, we really believe that their moves would have been different as well, because they are relying on our ignorance and on our apathy. And this is the greatest mistake any citizen can do, not understanding the importance and the gravity of their moves and every single action. So we are very happy that you are here today. I'm going to leave the floor now, and just to tell you that we wait from you to give us opinions and to tell us what it is that you believe that people should do in order to combat the division that we are faced with every single day. Thank you very much.
And now some updates on UCN from Zora.
Hi guys. You can hear me, right? You can all hear me.
No. Come to the phone. Speak to.
No, I think it's camera wants to. I think we can all hear me right now.
Yeah, the video cannot hear you.
Okay.
Let's say you come to the
mic.
Then video cameras can record you.
Like this?
No, come to the front.
Stand up, okay. I don't do standing up, but I feel like I'm giving a performance, guys. Okay. So, hi, welcome everyone. My name is Dora. Here is a brief update on what UCN has been doing over the past year or so. As you are all aware, after the disappointment of Crans Montana following the collapse of the talks, we lost a lot of people, and fewer kept coming to our gatherings at Lydia Street. Now, being a movement that started spontaneously and came together on the streets, we acknowledge that we lack structural ways to make decision-making more participatory. We accept any criticism, and I have to admit that on those chaotic and depressing days, things had to move along with whoever was still active. At the same time, we had to endure and cope with a number of personal and collective attacks, which took a toll on our energy and derailed our focus. We have thought extensively about ways to include and involve more Cypriots in our decision-making process. Currently, decisions are taken by the key activists of our group, the people that you see around you in the room today. You can read more about our organizational structure in the booklet handed to you. Please be advised that this is only a transitional arrangement until the elections planned in 2019. Furthermore, the document that you are holding explains that we need to finalize establishing structures, registered members and holding elections within 2019. We have not been looking inward though. Let's not be deceived about that. We are aware that this is not about UCM, but first and foremost, it is about Cyprus. We spent more than 150 days on the streets. We have begun to spread to other cities and organized events in Limassol, Famagusta, London. We protested. We were out in Derinia to call for the opening of a crossing point there in front of Africa newspaper to demonstrate our support when it was attacked, in front of the Turkish Cypriot Assembly to demand that the North change to wintertime will not happen. We protested the opening of the nuclear plant in Akudum, and we went out there on the streets supporting the pro-solution groups in all their activities. We visited embassies in order to voice our demand for a solution in the form of a federal United Cyprus to the international community. And we kept the pressure by visiting political parties to demand actions on issues such as education, intercommunal cooperation, confidence-building measures. Our members have appeared on radio and TV shows to promote our message for a united Cyprus and emphasize on the dangers of permanent partition. However, we realize that this is not enough. In order to make an impact, an actual effect, and prevent the permanent partition of our island, we need you. We need your participation. We need your ideas, your thoughts, your abilities, your skills, your time. No matter how decisive or determined we may be, we cannot unite our country and its people alone. Today, we trust that we can get some momentum so that we are able to realize our vision, a united Cyprus for all Cypriots. Lastly, a word about our finances. Because the subject has come up a lot. We received 10,000 euros from the Status Award. Some of it has been spent on today's event, while the balance due will be used to fulfill our mission to connect the Cypriots. The Friedrich Ebert Foundation also contributed 2,000 euros for our forthcoming gatherings and pay the necessary accompanying material. It is important here to emphasize that UCN members have paid out of their own pockets for a number of things, such as the movies we have watched, car stickers, Facebook promotion, building up our website, without any expectation to ever be reimbursed. They have provided their talent and specialist skills for free, like the wonderful designs of our flags and posters, translations, promotions, press releases, organizing events, etc. We are volunteers with demanding professional and family obligations who have sacrificed our free time because we believe in our vision and mission. United Cyprus for all Cypriots. Thank you, guys.
So, to get those ideas rolling, we've identified a few key subcommittees, which I'd like to introduce to you. We have GoodX, which will be promoting good examples of intercommunal cooperation, Action, organising grassroots events, Local, organising local hubs outside Nicosia, and Aware, which will be all about raising awareness on political issues, such as what is a federation, which could be done through workshops. Most importantly, if you're interested in joining one of these subcommittees, please fill out the form on your seat and mention which committee you're interested in. Please fill it out. Please mention the subcommittee. And next up, most importantly, we have our question and answer session. First question. Who's ready?
Come on, guys, feel ready. Start asking.
Just a moment.
I just have a question, which has been going through my mind for a considerable time. Because I have been involved in political parties. It seems, and it's something to consider, we need political clout, and how do you get that? It's a very good idea, but I think strategically one has to think further along to get respect from the media. Is there any media here from Turkish Cypriot media or Greek Cypriot media? May I ask which?
I'm in blocker.
Oh, you're
I have my own block. I'm not in.
We need to get respect, and you know that needs clout. And I don't know if we should consider that for the future. It's just a question, suggestion.
When we're talking, we won't let them, Who's them?
Should I answer now or? Okay. Well, during my presentation, I said that we will not let them. We should not let them. Let them is anybody you think that will come to your mind. People, or groups, or organizations, or movements, or anybody who thinks that dividing our country is a good idea and uniting is not. As simple as that. So we are not targeting any group per se or any people per se. We don't have the luxury to make it personalized or to take a personal fight with those people. But we all know who they are. They can come up with their statements, with their views, and we are there to really remind everybody that we are not going to give up on our country.
About the question we just get your question is something that constantly keeps up in discussions and everything, and like all the key activists are constantly thinking about it, but you should know that at every step of the way, UCN basically shifts towards the opinions of the majority of those who are involved. And the issue is that coming in front and combating the media and actually engaging into a more pressing presence is something that we are a bit hesitant. And obviously, if you engage much more actively and you put this forward, and like we can start discussing it. The problem is that currently we feel that we need to stay as much away from the establishment as possible, because we really feel that this demand is not only a demand about the division and everything, but it's a wider demand about the way we view our presence in Cyprus in general. So if we start engaging, and this is why UCN has, throughout this time, it has chosen more alternative means in order to get to people. We are using social media, and so this is my answer to you on behalf of UCN, in the sense that we are constantly thinking of every step of the way, because we're a bit scared as well, getting out there and having everyone against you. And we really feel that we need to start building the base slowly. The moment we have people in Limassol actually being able to stand up for what UCN stands for and for the principle that UCN stands for, that's the moment when UCN will be powerful enough to engage in a much more aggressive sort of approach. And so currently we are taking things a bit more step by step, but this is something that constantly comes up.
Yeah, I'm sure it does, but unfortunately, I know that if you go and play on their field as a weak player, you know, the nationalist move, the extreme nationalists on both sides, and all this poison flying out constantly and constantly. Maybe the soft approach is the right one initially until you build momentum, but eventually you will have to play on their field. And it should be strategically there, and time is against us.
That's for sure.
You know, I was 20 years old living in Famagusta in 1974. I've just told you my age. And I've been waiting. I worked for Anastasiadis. I was a member of his close team until 2004. And then what I saw around me, you know, the so-called, all of us were Relivis and we wanted and all of a sudden, 70-80% become fearful and nationalist, brainwashed. It's very strong, and you have to fight, I think, our only chance. The reason I'm here, I told Janos, is because of Anastasiadis' interview. You know, I came to UniteCyprus events and whatever, but I was always hoping that the mainstream political parties that had the clout, but it seems they're all letting us down every single time. Everyone. So that's what I'm saying. I'm expressing my frustration, if anything, which I'm sure is common to many of us. But yeah, I'm angry. Very angry.
Okay, we just have another question. Is it on? Yeah. Sorry, I don't really have a question. I have something to say. Firstly, I agree with you. Well, I'm angry as well. I returned to Cyprus in 2016 because I wanted to live in my birthland. I got involved in UniteCyprusNow. We are the media. We create media. Let's not wait for them to create our story. We write our story. I was active in UniteCyprusNow because I was very inspired by the hearts. Subsequently, I am one of those people that dropped away from UniteCyprusNow. I think we need to reflect on why people did drop away from UniteCyprusNow. There were ideas being put forward at the time of UniteCyprusNow that it felt were not being taken into consideration. I was constantly being told that this is a grassroots organisation and my voice is very important. So why were my ideas not discussed with me, taken on board or considered? If you want grassroots people to take responsibility for creating peace, you have to let them in. We had a hub. And it was a group of people that worked really hard. I see them here now, I see them there, and some faces are not here. For whatever reason, they're not here. I believe strongly that part of UniteCyprusNow is a truth and reconciliation programme. Something inspired by South Africa and Desmond Tutu. I also believe in education. It is down to us. Italy did it with the 5-star movement. They've gone through their challenging times, but they are still part and parcel of our active Italian political system. Personally, I want to be involved in UniteCyprusNow. I really do. That's why I'm here. I'm stubborn. I don't give up. However, I have to feel that what I am going to spend my time and energy in, I have to feel trust. I have to feel transparency to what is being decided. Who decides what we do? And the more transparency I see, the more I will commit. I have to be honest with you. And lastly, I really believe in a united Cyprus. But I am UniteCyprusNow every day in everything I do. Sometimes I get it right and sometimes I annoy my neighbour, but I try.
So I'm glad that you've done it, and I applaud the efforts, the ceaseless efforts of the members, the key activists. But to be going forward, to sustain, you really have to let us in.
Εγώ δεν έχω να κάνω καμία ερώτηση, απλά μια διαπίστωση ότι σε αυτή την αίθουσα είμαστε μισή Ελληνοκύπροι, μισή Τουρκοκύπροι και μιλάτε όλοι στα αγγλικά. Δηλαδή κάποιοι που δεν ούτε τη γλώσσα μας δεν καταλαβαίνόμαστε να μιλήσουμε. Μπορούσαν κάλλιστα να μιλήσουν στα τουρκικά και να έχει κάποιον να τα μεταφράσει, οι Έλληνες στα ελληνικά και να τα μεταφράσει. Μιλάτε σε μια γλώσσα σαν και που είμαστε στο Λονδίνο, στην Ευρώπη κάπου. Είμαστε στην Κύπρο, έχουμε τη γλώσσα μας. Ευχαριστώ.
Δύο γλώσσες, τρεις γλώσσες κατά κύριο.
You're absolutely right. It is a problem, and it is a huge problem in any movement that has been created, in any bi-communal movement that has been created in Cyprus, because we are never taught to speak the language of each other. And sadly, English is the medium that we can communicate with in this room without leaving anyone aside. We did want to have interpretation, to be honest, and we did try it. It was too expensive for us to have equipment here. We preferred to see how these things are going before we decide how to spend the money that we just got from State of Cajuano. So I understand 100% what you are saying, and we would wish to be able to speak both languages in order to be able to be communicated in this space. And we have another question.
Okay, I'm going to follow on from the lady before last in her point, and I'm actually going to do something which I had told myself not to do when I was coming here. I was coming here to speak about Cyprus and to speak about and to hear about Cyprus, and mostly to hear what other people have to say. But I have to ask whether it was mentioned earlier that after Transmontana, UCN lost a lot of members, a lot of activists. I am one of those people. Has UCN gone through an exercise of wondering why people were driven away? Because some of them were driven away. And it was not just the fact that people were disappointed. UCN post-Transmontana morphed into a very different animal from what it was before. Some of it of necessity, some of it, in my opinion, unnecessarily. Some of us were calling for meetings like today's meeting to take place last September. They're happening a year later. It's good that they're happening. But I want to hear what, in the opinion of the people who went on being involved with UCN, has changed in the year since, which will make someone like me, who chose, while sympathizing with the purpose of UCN and the goals of UCN, to prefer to take a more distant stance, promote it remotely, but not actually be actively involved. And on purpose, I will not mention what it was that drove me away from UCN. Thank you.
It's the way they were running the
there is a chat for
It is not working.
Take that one.
I want to ask something. There is a platform.
Yeah.
There is a platform of trade unions, NGOs, and other from both sides that are doing things for the solution of the Cyprus problem. Is UCN taking part with this platform or?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. I don't have a question. I just want to express myself. After, sorry. Okay, but I think from what I've heard up to now, I think it's important to note that we don't have time. Okay, time is a very serious factor that we have to take into account in whatever we decide to do. And I'm saying this because I appreciate that many people were using it before, or they were given away, or they didn't, for whatever reasons, which is important to be discussed, I agree, okay? But I think we should concentrate and put all our efforts in strategizing in how we are going to move, how we are going to react, because I think we all need to understand that time is precious. We are heading towards, if we have a new, because we may not even have the chance to have any new process of negotiations, we are heading towards a deadlock, and I think this should be taken into account in whatever decisions we are taking on what actions to take, which we will discuss further down, I guess. But I think it's important to try to concentrate in what is really important right now.
Hello, sorry for my voice. I want to thank you for taking initiative for UCM, first of all. UCM supported us from Famagusta initiative in the Rinia Gate, the things that we did for the Rinia in Famagusta. And thank you for your support as well. I think non-governmental organizations in Cyprus, in both sides of Cyprus, I'm very sad to say that it's both sides of Cyprus that we have. This is the reality. There is a hopeless situation, but as the lady mentioned, we don't have time. And as Famagusta Initiative is not an NGO with an organization and or papers or some rules, we sometimes suffer from people's, they are disappointed. They don't believe in many things they believed a few years before. So we suffer from that. They are hopeless. As we call them for a meeting, as we call them for a march or a walk, they don't participate. If UniteCyprusNow, if you don't want to experience something like that, if you don't want this bitter experience, I think you should rely on oral history and people's belief in reconciliation as soon as possible. We don't have time. Ask people, see people, and make people feel that their belief in peace is appreciated. Because since you tell them, okay, we are together and we want to unite Cyprus now, sometimes you have to repeat it every day, because it's very easy to forget that. When I leave here, this is the most important thing that I will remember from today, but not tomorrow. So you have to make me remember that. Thank you very much.
You wanna go from here? Yeah, sure.
Hi there. One question and one comment. I, like many people, am an immigrant into Cyprus. I've actually lived here 3 years, although I've been coming here for 15 years. I hope United Cyprus will be able to welcome other immigrants who want to take part. Because one of the things that depresses me, particularly with English immigrants here, and particularly those I meet in Paphos and Kyrenia, is that so many have bought into extreme nationalist rhetoric. And I think if we can have a role in actually countering that and putting the other side. But my second question is more of a practical one. Next Monday, the Derinia and Aplich crossings will open. Will United Cyprus Network at least encourage as many people as possible just to use those crossings? Just a simple act of going across will increase the numbers and will show that this is welcome, because I think the initiative of the two mayors in Nicosia has been very positive in the last couple of weeks, looking for more crossings. And crossings are not a solution, but the more people who can see that the other side is not like those maps that say occupied by troops or occupied by the other, then the better.
My friends picked from the fact that I should be answering some of the questions. First of all, before I forget, 12 on Monday at 12 o'clock, there will be the two new crossing points opening up, one in Aplich, one in Derinia. And Kandal is with us as well, and our friends. And I would like to remind everybody that we'll be there to celebrate this sad situation, unfortunately, that we are celebrating an opening of a gate, but still it is a progress. And we're going to support them, and they're going to show solidarity. It's important that we should, so I invite all of you to be there at 12 o'clock on the 12th. Now, UCN is a truly Cyprus movement. It is also suffering from the same problems that Cypriots, as we Cypriots, culturally and individually suffer as well. UCN was born on the streets, and it was a big name before we know what it really is. We were not very sure what it really was. So we were trying to find our way. And when you're trying to find your way, it is possible that you make mistakes and you break hearts, and you are unfair to some people, and you are unfair to yourself as well. I believe that the effort here is very important, because in the booklets you see, what we'll be trying to do is to bring legitimacy. Because if somebody tells me, who are you to talk on behalf of UCN? Then I cannot say that, well, I have been all around the place, you know me, it's not enough. You have to base it on something. And this is the very exact reason why we started registering members, and we drafted a statute which is open to changes once the elections are also taking place, so that we create some sort of a legitimacy. Many friends of ours were thinking that UCN is actually a grassroots movement, so we shouldn't be centralized. I agree, it should be having town hall meetings, it should invite everybody, member or non-member, to express their views through different ways. You don't have to bring people together in this age, you can do it social as well. But you have to start from somewhere. There is no way that you just decide all together one day and then next week you actually decide something else. And we all need legitimacy, and this is why we are standing in front of you. This is why we are registering members. We are inviting all of you to become members. And this is why we actually put it live, so that everybody say it out loud, whatever they feel. And then we close the chapter and move forward. Because we really had also enough with all these discussions. It's been more than a year. We're trying our best. Some people left fairly, unfairly, okay? But what we are having at the moment is we are looking in the eye of the division. And we are still discussing UCN. Okay, let's continue UCN, fine, discuss. But let's participate in the meetings. Let's become a member, and then let's voice your thoughts and ideas as much as possible. I mean, this is the only thing I can tell you. Unfortunately, we are not living in a perfect world. UCN is not perfect either. But this is what we did. I hope there will be some other people coming up and taking it over and making it better. I don't know if anybody wants to say anything.
I just want to say, because actually you reminded me that it's live streaming, and I wanted to say that it is very important if we can get as many people as we can to go to the Derinia on Monday. The Derinia is a very fragile place. Elam has a demonstration tomorrow. They really want to prove that no one is interested and no one cares about the crossing point. And there is a lot of discussion about the problems that will emerged for the Greek Cypriot shop owners there. It is very important to put the message out there to get people to go on Monday. I know it's at 12. I know we are all working, but if we could do it, it would be a sign that, you know, we celebrate collaboration, we celebrate all the instances that we can get on this island to actually work together.
Yeah.
We're now getting on to the next bit, which is gathering your ideas and getting practical. But before that, Natalie's trying to tell me something.
We actually have our first idea comment over here.
Okay, but just 1 second before we start. Because I want to make a public apology to Pavlos, because I was new to him on Facebook, and I'm sure that was one of the reasons why he went away. He was asking us difficult questions at a time when we were under attack from everywhere, inside, outside. I mean, it didn't happen to me, but happened to some of our friends, people on other Facebook pages saying we should be raped, we should be killed, etc., etc. So I didn't react very well to legitimate criticism, and I want to apologise. So thank you for coming. So we're now on to practical ideas. As people have been saying, we've got no time. So how are we going to meet our vision? Our mission is connecting Cypriots. So the idea is, even if we can't, we hope to influence one day the political process, to have some clout. But in the meantime, we've got to connect Cypriots because we're heading for partition. I mean, you would read between the lines of what's being said. We're being drawn into this idea that we're going to split and everybody wants it. So how can we want, so this next session, and our friends are going to be writing up the ideas as you bring them up. We'll have a session like this in Limassol, another session in Famagusta, one day we hope in other towns too, when we get organised. And then, but there's be a final session in the Home for Cooperation where we gather these ideas and actually get practical and get them implemented. So the emphasis is, what can I do? You know, what can we do? How can we do it? And most importantly, who can do it? If you want to take ownership for it as well, please do so. It doesn't mean if you have an idea you have to, but it really helps. You know, you can't just rely on the same people. So, first idea. Andreas.
Well, everybody knows me. I was from the beginning of an activist at Vidra Street.
And you stand up.
And I don't have to. No, I'm so told. Anyhow, besides my business, at the beginning, May 2017, I was running up and down to come from Limassol of Paphos to join the afternoon session, because it was every day whistling, and it was amazing. And I still was going on until last September or something. During summertime. And there were few of us, I don't want to mention names, few of us, standing there in the middle of the summertime, giving leaflets. They know who they were there. And also, to few people, when it was the Ida's farewell dinner at the Leather Palace, just around the corner, it was an idiot from media. His name was Haralambidis, I think, I remember. Shut the cameras down, and then over a sudden I said to myself, Haralambos, whatever, I said, it's up to us. And it became a slogan. It's up to us, the people. Mix with the people. I do mix with people. I've got 2,500 Cyprus compatriots on my Facebook. I know every single of them. We go picnics, we go everywhere. Even trips, houses, meetings together. But it's three magical words: forgiveness, respect and trust. If we follow these words, solution of Cyprus is solved. But we have to.
So we all have to have more dinners.
Well, you have to meet with people. It's the people who are going to solve the problem, not the politician, not us. It's the people.
So any
Talk
more?
to them. They are not enemies, they are brothers. Sorry to say that, I lost people, loved ones, relatives, 58 and 74, and I'm still on activist for UniteCyprus. I don't give a sugar about what happened. History is there. It's there. But you have to forgive. And move on. Like the Germans did when they take their grandsons at the Auschwitz or whatever, they said to them, look what your grandparents did to the humanity. Yes. I was the first one, Cypriot, who went to Alloy and put roses there. And nobody knows
some
about
ideas
it.
from other people too, okay? And we have one here.
Okay, fine. I'll stand up. I'm also tall, but I'm not scared of it. I've got a bit to say, so sorry if I go on, but that's just like...
As long as they're practical ideas.
They are practical ideas, I think. I don't need a microphone, I'm fine with this. First of all, I want to go back to the past because the past was great. The start of UniteCyprusNow, I remember the first time I saw people protesting on Libra, and for me, that was emotionally moving. It was something that grabbed me, and it was something that meant a lot, and it was something that changed how I saw the Cyprus problem in a way, because all of a sudden I saw, for the first time, people who believed that a solution was possible, and people who were willing to go and do something about it. It was something that was simple, just being there, something that was powerful, and something that formed the backbone of the original UniteCyprusNow. And something that still really does form the backbone of UniteCyprusNow. I don't know how many people would be here if there hadn't been that presence. It made the biggest difference as well to Cyprus, to Cypriots, and it was what grew this group, in my opinion. Without that presence, this group wouldn't exist, or at least it wouldn't be the size it is today. And with the website, with the film, with the book, it's a lovely book, and with all these things are accessories to the main part of UniteCyprusNow, which in my opinion has to be regular, public and visible action in the middle of Nicosia, in Libra. Because without that, there's nothing to UniteCyprusNow really. It's just people talking and people on the internet. The vision has to include regular action. And to be honest, I've read the book a little bit and I've read what's going on. I don't think submit is the answer. I like the idea of regional groups, but I think this organisation needs to be kept as simple as possible. I think all the stuff in the book slows the process down, and there will be too many layers to actually get anything done within this group, in my opinion. We're supposed to be UniteCyprusNow, as something immediate, something visible, and something that happens immediately, not something that takes a while to get through 4 levels of subcommittees, other committees that exist, and then the key people, and then maybe something happens. I think immediate action is the way forward. And that goes on to what Mr. Hogleos said about the solution lying within us, in that as a group, as an organisation, we cannot lose contact with Cyprus as it is, and with the actual streets of Cyprus. Yes, it's lovely having these conversations, it's lovely coming up with ideas and writing them down, but if we don't actually do anything, it means nothing. And that goes on as well with what you, sir, said about the clout. If we are on the streets, if we are visible, and if we're in the middle of town making a nuisance effectively, that's when we get noticed, that's when people want to talk about it, and that's when people want to report about it, and that's when it becomes news. Therefore, I think UniteCyprusNow does need a change of course. It needs simplification from, yes, the book's lovely, but it's got too much things. It's got too many things in it. A simple group works better, in my opinion. It needs to remember the origins and the reason it exists. The interpersonal politics that has plagued this group for a little bit of time needs to be forgotten. Because at the end of the day, we're not here to play politics around the group. We're here because we actually want a united nation. We want to live in one Cyprus, not where you have to show your passport if you want to go to... We want to go to Nicosia. My favourite coffee shop in Nicosia is Madog. Every time I go there, I have to show my passport. You can bear it. It's worn now. It's broken, my passport. Every time I go, I have to show my passport. So I think rather than making this group more complicated, rather than having more layers, we need to simplify and we need to get back to the streets where this group started. Because if we do not do that, if we keep avoiding the streets, we keep avoiding Lidra, we keep making this group more complicated, Unite Cyprus Now will die. And the way we're going at the moment, the hope for a United Cyprus might just die with it, and that's something that none of us want. I'm done.
Thank you. Just about the Ledger Street presence, it's something that touches my heart a lot because it was born there, and I would have loved to have this meeting there just because of its symbolic importance and be there every week as we used to. However, and we will be totally honest about the reasons why we're not there anymore, it was just 3, 4, sometimes maybe 5 people there every time we gathered, and it just was not sustainable. It was the same 5 people. So, and I also am a bit disturbed about the way the conversation is going because it's like UCN versus like the people. The reason we are here tonight is for people to take ownership of UCN. UCN is nothing without the people. If we were left 7 people were UCN. If this whole room, I think we have about 100 people here tonight, if you decide you are UCN, then you are UCN. And it is up to you and us as a whole to decide to be back on Ledger Street, but with the commitment to be there. So that it is not up to 5 people to be there every week. So if enough people in this room tonight are ready to take the commitment, make the commitment, and go back to Ledger Street, we are back in Ledger Street this Saturday. It is up to you guys. It is up to us as a whole. UCN is not these people. UCN is us, and it is our decision to make. So yeah, thank you for bringing that up.
And just for this that Esther is saying, actually you can have the keys if you are willing to be doing it, and this is the whole idea of this thing, that it shouldn't be a committee that does things. It should be each and every one of us as UCN and can take initiatives as long as they fall within the guiding principles and values of UCN. As simple as that. And if we get more hubs everywhere to be actually having presence everywhere, that's it. We need the people.
One boring and practical issue with Lidra Street especially, it's less so here, but Lidra Street is the UN wants how many weeks notice now? 3 weeks notice. They really didn't like it.
They don't like it.
Well, they will not allow us to do it. I mean,
they
we have to.
They can't stop people from just being there.
They have to deal with an awful lot of soldiers facing each other. We don't see them, but they see them. And if we want them to let us carry on meeting, we kind of need to. I mean, we've had a lot of fights with them.
Did you get the 3 weeks notice the first time you went?
No, but
okay. So
yeah, and we got our asses kicked for that. And
we'll get our asses kicked again. But if it means we get one step closer to United Cyprus, for me it's worth it.
Pavlos wants to say something.
Personally,
don't forget practical ideas, please, guys.
Personally, much as I loved UCN in Lidra Street and what we were doing then, I don't think the same thing can work again. I don't think we can just go there and do the same thing again. I don't think the enthusiasm which was there is there now. We need to build that up before we can reach there. Yes, we need to be in the streets, we need to be visible, but we need to learn from what it was that worked then and use it in a more sophisticated way. Why did, in my opinion, why did UCN work at the beginning? Because it was a spontaneous reaction from the heart. Ezra wrote something on Facebook, we all responded to it, we went there, because it empowered people. It gave people a microphone, we didn't have a clue what they were going to say, but we let them say it. We weren't afraid. Why else? Because it promoted itself very well, using social media, using media, and it promoted a very novel idea, which was people prepared to go and fight for something called the United Cyprus, when all around them they were being called just about traitors by other people. Yes, we've all had to face attacks on social media, on things, personal attacks because of that. But it worked because people were being empowered, they were doing something they believed in, and things. Now we need to use that and grow from it. The image of people from different communities together is a powerful one in its own. Even if they're sitting around having coffee, it's still a powerful image. We need to do that. Maybe we need, even a social events things will send a message out. UCN punched well above its weight because it had a very, very strong social media presence. I admit I'm not familiar with what social media events are happening in UCN. When I see certain things, I share them, but I don't follow I'm not a member of the group anymore, I don't follow it. But it was a very conscious effort of doing that. So, can UCN, also, UCN needs to be visible, it needs to be part of the discussion that is going on about, or is not going on about the Cyprus issue. So it needs thought pieces, it needs things in the press to say this. I'm not saying it's not doing it, but it needs to do it. It's not enough just to be in Lydra Street and handing out leaflets or banging or sounding whistles. So I think the structure needs to be more sophisticated. I haven't studied exactly what we did, but you do need, if you are to grow, if we're 50 people or 30 people in the street, then yes, it can be perfectly egalitarian and we all decide together. But if we're to grow, we need to have some kind of structure and some way of reaching decisions.
I think one of that's the reason maybe we shouldn't have called them, I don't know what we call them, committees, but that was the idea is, some of us, I'm not someone who likes to get out on the street. I can do the social media, but if there are people who want to do it, then let's form a group who can do that. But there's lots of hands up, so let's have someone who hasn't spoken yet. Sorry.
Marina.
If you want to reply.
No, practical idea. The buffer zone is still there, it's not going to go away, we can always go back to it. But the idea was to take UCN out to the people. So if anybody has a bus that we could take, so we could send them there, go out to the villages and have contact with people and talk to people and spread our ideas. That's one practical idea that we could do.
But so there is a young man there, full of energy. He wants to go back to Lydra Street, which is a very symbolic place, and we are cutting his wings. I think that we should allow him to, carry on, and on parallel we can do other things. I mean,
Fiona, wait. Are we gathering ideas here only, or are we discussing also the ideas? Because this is a wrong process. This is a wrong process.
Ideas.
So because you have other ideas and...
Yes, speak.
Okay. All this discussion makes me feel like I'm an ant trying to move a mountain. It feels like a huge task. Maybe we should start trying to think outside the box, something more radical. I mean, time is of essence, right? So I agree that we need a lot of more exposure. So maybe something radical, like running full-page ads in newspapers, or starting a legal procedure against our leaders, or something really, big. Not the usual, let's get together and let's demonstrate. And I think we need to think along different lines.
Okay, and then the next is how do we get the money to do that? Panis.
Yeah.
Okay, we collect the money. We're here, right?
Just practical ideas. Your story needs to be heard. Okay. Fuck media. I'm talking like this. I'm talking like this online. Media will not give you. You are all here. You are 100 media here. You have your iPhone. You have how many of you have an account now? How many of you have your mobile with you now? How many practical ideas? Put them up. Put them up. Open your mobiles. Open your mobiles. Open your mobiles. Go to the page of UniteCyprus and share this fucking live stream. Now. Now, do it now. Just share it. If you want ownership of UCN, do a simple stuff. How many of you are doing that? Now, there is a free Wi-Fi here. Networks is big. Go and share the video now. You want practicality, you want something else. Forget anger. Take the anger and put it in a box. Nelson Mandela did not unite South Africa. Watch the video how he did it. He put the guy that actually was running the black guys, the policeman, and he put it to work with the black guy. This is how meet the people. Go and speak with the people. And sorry, practical ideas. You have like 100 people here. Take their Facebook agreement, put them in a Facebook. Whatever post you make in UniteCyprus, post it in the group. And all these 100 people, they have the special task to share that. With 100 people sharing all the Facebook, you're taking in Cyprus the media. Okay, I'm doing that because I'm growth hacking. Anyway, I don't want
people who haven't spoken yet. So
yeah, that's a practical idea. Use social media and use it like this. Create a group. Put 100 people that their task is to share everything that you put in your social media, and then you have virality. You don't need filters. You don't need anyone.
Who's next, Natalie?
Right at the back of the
You even just talking about the practical ideas is just making us go excited actually and go all crazy maybe, and that's what we want to be. Just one practical idea which comes to my mind is that I know we want to move away from the checkpoints and whatnot, but again there is the reality out there that we do unfortunately have those checkpoints. So maybe spontaneously at certain times of the day, two people, one at the Turkish Cypriot checkpoint and one at the Greek Cypriot checkpoint, can stand there without crossing and start shouting and talking to each other. Just asking how they are, you know. It's just spontaneous. And it's about showing, actually, and maybe joking about the craziness of what we are living in. It's just, you know, it's just an idea.
Θα μιλήσω ελληνικά. Λοιπόν, θα ήθελα να κάνω μια πρακτική, πιστεύω εγώ, εισήγηση. Δεν ξέρω κατά πόσο θα κριθεί εφαρμόσιμη. Δηλαδή, αφορά τη δέσμευση στην οποία αναφέρθηκε.
Yes, when she says it, we'll translate.
You remember all?
Yeah, I'll try and remember.
Θα αναφερθώ στη δέσμευση στην οποία έγινε αναφορά προηγουμένως. Νομίζω αυτή η δέσμευση θα πρέπει να γίνεται με ένα πρακτικό και δεσμευτικό τρόπο. Το λέει και η λέξη, είναι δέσμευση. Δηλαδή, αν θα πάνε κάποιοι στη Δερίνια, θα πρέπει να το δηλώσουν. Θα πρέπει να μπει ένα λεωφορείο να πάνε. Θα πρέπει να γίνει οργανωμένα και μαζικά. Εάν αφήνεται αυτό στον καθένα μεμονωμένα, ξέρουμε πώς λειτουργεί ο Κύπριος γενικά. Έχω τις δουλειές μου, κάνει κρύο, το ένα το άλλο και στο τέλος πάνε 5 άτομα για παράδειγμα.
Just to translate, if any idea that is being put forward should be practical as well and should have a commitment on it. Do not let people at
their own speed and at their own pace do things. If you say that you want people to go to the Rinia, hire a bus, move people there in masses, and do not let it on them just to take the initiative. Do it more organized.
Και μια δεύτερη εισήγηση, αν με επιτρέπετε. Όσον αφορά τις συναντήσεις στη Λίδρα, για παράδειγμα, θα πρέπει να γίνονται με συγκεκριμένο σκοπό και με συγκεκριμένα συνθήματα. Δηλαδή, ξέρουμε τι συμβαίνει τελευταία, αν θέλουμε να διαμαρτυρηθούμε ενάντια στα σχέδια τα διχοτομικά, τα οποία διαφαίνονται, θα πρέπει να το κάνουμε με ένα στόχο. Όχι απλώς για να ενθουσιαστούμε και να φωνάξουμε. Και πάλι εδώ πιστεύω ότι θα πρέπει να δεσμευτούν κάποιοι. Και πώς θα δεσμευτούν? Να ερωτηθούν τα μέλη ποιες ημέρες και ώρες προτιμάνε. Μπορεί να υπάρξουν 50 άτομα τα οποία θα προτιμήσουν να πάνε Δευτέρα η ώρα 6. Αυτά τα 50 άτομα πάλι να είναι δεσμευμένα για αυτό το σκοπό. Ευχαριστώ.
The second suggestion is that people that are gathering in Lydra should be gathering with specific slogans and with specific goals. And the specific goal, and if we are viewing the road to partition that we are currently going, our slogans should be reflecting that. And even on these ideas, the commitment is needed. So ask people, when can you go to Lydra? If you can get 50 people to go on that day, then those 50 people are committed to go to Lydra on that day. Thank you very much.
One question here. Fiona.
Hi, good evening. As a psychologist, I think, and many people will agree, that the Cyprus problem is very much a psychological problem. And it goes back many decades, maybe a century or more. And, there's a reason the psychotherapist was in charge of the negotiations in Ireland for finding a solution there, for their political division and their struggle. Unless we can work on the psychological division, being able to accept the other, being able to have truth and reconciliation and respect and forgiveness, unfortunately, just by making noise, I feel that we are trying to get people to think that yes, living together and reuniting is possible, but this is also steering negative emotions in people. And when you're steering negative emotions, the reaction is denial and no, I want to protect myself and I want to protect my pain. Our politicians have done so much to preserve this pain. You can take the relatives of the missing. So much pain has been preserved. I would say somehow get in touch with the psychologists that you have here in the group. Get people to guide you. What kind of message do we need to bring in and what kind of deconstruction needs to happen? Because just the noise, I think, is not, it's just the tip of the iceberg.
I'm trying to get people on the second.
I have a couple of ideas, and I actually formed them while I was listening to you. First of all, I think we need to start an inquiry page or something that can be done online that involves, fields that will require the profession of the member or hobbies or something. Anything that we can use of. For example, if you're, more knowledgeable about this psychotherapies between the Irish and the British, or, if you can give us some, background information on that. Of course, we want to use that for our own purposes. But, I know only a very few people here, and I don't really know them, how they spend their spare time. So, getting together in the buffer region is very romantic, and I used to feel the same when I was much younger. But, the life goes on and you have other things to do, you have limited spare time and you want to spend that energy and that time more effectively, more efficiently. each other, how are we going to do that? I mean, so we need a pool, maybe, to gather that information, so we can call, I don't know, Christos asking, you know, we read that you're a psychologist, maybe you have some ideas, please share it with us. Or, you know, more specific. And we can then use these, I hope, and create a YouTube channel. Because I don't believe in media, mainstream media, I don't follow it, because it just pisses me off, and it frustrates me, and it demoralizes me, because there is nothing there that uplifts me, okay? And YouTube is another...
YouTube is dying. Facebook Live.
But the thing is, I want...
It's dying. Facebook Live.
Okay, but I think if we have some, you know, journalists, if we have some people who, as a hobby, can do some editing, it doesn't need to be really professional, but to just get the message out there, because we are divided. Come on, let's be honest now. I don't speak Greek. And I had friends that I used to see more from the south, but I don't, because as I said, life goes on, and we have other things to do, and you know, you just lose the contact. Anyway, so if we create a YouTube channel or whatever channel, some channel, that information is going to be kept there, so that it can be seen by different people. We can, I don't know, have a program related to the negotiation or psychotherapy aspect of the Irish and British, or we have South African students here on both sides, and maybe they have something to tell, because we need to be inclusive. It's not just Greek Cypriots, it's not just Armenian Cypriot, it is everywhere that is living on this island, permanently or temporarily. It is divided, and you know, the other people need to realize that, and they need to be able to do something about it. And let's be honest, when you're online, it's much easier, but you need to find the correct people for the correct action, and it needs to be organized, yes, because we are Mediterranean, and so something needs to push us in order to move. So let that be the committee or the organization or whatever you call it, but you know, somebody needs to assign, can you do this? If you can, please.
On that note, I just want to remind you that we distributed, sorry for the double registration, but we found out last minute that Friedrich Ebert Stiftung needed registration, but the ones on your chairs that's where we ask you what skills do you have, what kind of, because, you know, it's the same 5 people doing the same things, and we're just knackered, we can't do it anymore, and so you can throw as many suggestions at us if you like, but we need other people to take ownership of ideas, so that's a good start. If we know what people's skills are, then we can start working on
Fiona, you know my skills, so I will do your strategy on social media, so you can take every mobile, every post mobile.
Sorry, Andre's been waiting a while.
You mentioned before that the buffer zone about the United Nations.
Yes.
I'm afraid to say that particular part of where I used to be there as United Cyprus belongs to the government of Cyprus, right? And nothing to do with the United Nations. Check it up. No. I know it belongs to even the offices there belongs to the
I personally had my ass kicked by the SRSG for our activities.
The buffer zone is only the street. And also about the Marina mentioned about buses going to villages, whatever. I'm doing it for the last year now, full of Turkish Cypriots going everywhere in Cyprus, even in the churches, our churches.
You just need the logo then.
Well.
Yes, sorry, okay.
Thank you. I'll try to keep it short because I know there are a lot of questions and a lot of suggestions. one of the things that I'd like to say is that yes, we can think very big, but we can also think more locally as to what it is that each of us can do within, outside only the context, not only about within the context of UCN, but it's also what is it that we can do. And it can be simple, small things. I mean, I know that things like, there are things that are being done in Famagusta, organizing football matches between teams, planting trees. I know these are very traditional, but each of us have a little role to play in our own community and in our own little circle that we can, this can be a first step towards something. It's about what is it that we can do as individuals, yes, as part of the bigger whole, but us as individuals, small steps and small groups. For example, I know that there are groups in the south, either young football clubs that are looking for groups in the north to play with. But there is no contact because they don't know who to reach out to. They're the same thing with art classes and you can look at a lot of different things. So what I'm trying to suggest is that when we look at activities, yes, demonstrations are good and going to the streets are good, but we can also look at more actual activities that we can do in our own community. Thank you.
Hi everyone. I think everybody trying to come up with a new idea or practical idea, but I think UCN should focus on one thing, that there are so many CSOs already doing something like for uniting the island. So UCN people, they're already like people working on peace and reconciliation. They're CSOs working by communally, collaborating already. Why don't you send approach those CSOs or identify focal points to bring those CSOs outside of Nicosia? So this could be already like something we could do. Like it is there already. We don't have to come up with something new. CSO for working on peace and reconciliation, like civil society organizations or NGOs. There's so many of them already working on peace and reconciliation, working on the environment, working on human rights. So these NGOs should be identified and outreach to bring and maybe collaborate for common, collaborative activities. These are practical ideas that comes into my mind. But with events that my friend mentioning, there's so many of them, it just needs to be identified and brought together. Then we can come up with new ideas and maybe what can already put on those ideas. So we have so many already that instead of coming up with something new, I think we should use what we have in our hands. And there's so many.
Sorry, because I'm about to leave. I think it's absolutely beautiful. Yeah, okay. I think it's absolutely beautiful. All this emotion, all this love, all this ideas. But if we don't get organized as well, these things can happen. You know, you need a central, it's horrible, I know, we don't like bureaucracy, we don't like these things. You have to do, and this will die. It will stay, you know, Andrea's going there, I go across to the north often, I've got friends, I talk, wherever I shop I ask, where are you from? Oh, I'm from Paphos. Oh. Don't you think it's sad what's happening to our country? Yes, we're all doing that, but we need something stronger. And I think it's admirable that you guys are leading, have given this opportunity. It's got to get organized as well. It doesn't stop the power of things happening. And we're Cypriots, and everybody's clever, and we don't like somebody to be chairman of a committee because we all think we know better than our other part. Well, okay, you have to go through that as well. It's painful, but it's part of getting there. And I love what I'm seeing, but I'm sorry, I come from an organizational background, and I know that at the end of the day, without organization, implementation doesn't really have a more dramatic effect. That's all I want to say.
Thank you. I wanted to say a few practical ideas or I think in three different areas that I believe UCN can have an impact and can be more efficient and more effective. Activism,
awareness raising as to what is federation in very simple words for people to understand why it's beneficial to have a federation and what does it mean and why it unites us and why it gives more opportunity, etc. But with very simple messages, nothing complicated, and to counter the narrative against federation. I think this is very important. Activist work, I fully agree that whenever we can, we should be visible on the ground. I have this idea, I'm active in the area of human rights for many years now, and you normally go against the system. So if we can, even for one day, symbolically cross a crossing point without going through check controls, if we are big enough in numbers to be able to do that, this is, I mean, symbolically, it's very important. I don't know how much, but we have to gather a lot of people. If you want,
got the lawyer.
yeah, and I can defend and thirdly, there is an aspect in UCN's work, I believe, that nobody mentioned, and we should try to make use of the reference of the Secretary General in his report on Cyprus about participation. We have to make use of these references of the need to have the civil society organization participating and be taken into account in whatever the leaders discuss. They should not ignore it. We should try to find the most efficient and most effective ways on how to communicate what we believe, on how to participate in. We want information, we want accurate information. I don't have practical ways of doing this right now, but this is an aspect of UCN's work that we have to focus on as well, because we have a good opportunity because of the Secretary General's report. And any legal actions, I'm up for it pro bono as a lawyer.
I think you just signed up yourself up for the Aware Committee. Yeah. Okay, we've got 5 minutes left, and I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hands, so keep it brief, please.
Yeah, I would like to thank to people who came here from abroad, from other countries, and supporting this movement. And this is the identity of us that shows the multiculturalism. And which country you came from? I mean, okay. Because we were saying that, they will keep the bubbles outside the EU because of their language. Sorry. But we have people from... Did you establish the republic? Are you a different republic, right? Yeah. Okay, from the left, on the highway. So, I keep meeting people. I keep people meeting from England, from India, from Pakistan, from Japan, from China, from Russia, and they are sick and tired of this problem. And I hope one day, because this bicommunalism it's a problem. This division is not bicommunal anymore. This is a problem of the other cultures and other people coming from abroad and knowing this and taking this country as their motherland. So this is the most important point of this movement, that we are not only Turkish or Greek speaking people and many more. And for Elam, don't be afraid, because they are having an Oedipus complex and their mothers.
We've got 2 minutes. I want to hear from someone who hasn't spoken yet.
I didn't. Can you speak with later?
I think your cry is for resources, because there have been brilliant ideas, but what has been going on in my mind, who is going to do that? And I'm not taking myself out, but the way we have been talking is you. So what I can suggest is that 2 things. I completely support the argument of the idea of the gentleman who left. You need to be a bit more brave and put a structure. come forward. I think the reason the structure has not been because you are maybe too modest, too whatever and so on. So from the people who gathered here and put our names, contact us, we'll contact you and so on. Money is needed. I mean, nothing can roll without money. And from time to time I hear that, an NGO which have been going on and on, they have financing, they have somebody working there. You cannot go on, and you said it, part-time. Okay, so ask us for subscriptions, for membership, for whatever. And one last thing, the reason UCN maybe declined, the reason is that there was no cause. I mean, we got there because negotiation was going on. When it stopped, everything fell apart. So it was very much